this is an interesting thing. We are required by state law to have a public notification system, and we did budget for it. The public notification system is actually a really neat device, and we're required for water to have this, but we can use it in other ways. Like, for example, today when we had a water main break and we knew that it was going to affect certain properties on Fountain and certain properties on Freeport, I could have just went into a database, picked those out, and it would have automatically called those people with a message. So it's relatively inexpensive. I know Aspinwall uses it, the school district uses it. Some of you might have gotten phone calls already that say, so-and-so bus number will be late, or there's a closed road and buses are being rerouted. So it's actually a very neat thing in that we can get public information out instead of Kathy and I doing like we did this morning, calling the businesses that we knew of and calling the residents that we knew of, and the Borough Boys going and knocking on doors. Or the old-fashioned system of the police car using the siren and the loudspeaker saying, water shut off. So it's actually a really innovative thing. We're required to have it in place by May 10th. So I will be working with SwiftReach. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But it's relatively inexpensive. Fortunately, we've been great. Kathy's been working really hard. I've been working really hard to try to get phone numbers from everyone we can possibly get. And we do have a good bit of them.
Did George give you that copy that I gave you?
No,
I'll give you a copy.
Yes. So nonetheless, that is something that's new and exciting. If there's a fire emergency, again, it'll be something that we can use all together collectively. And I think it will work to serve us well. And it's not something we're doing just because. It's something that's required, but it'll actually serve us in a multitude of ways.
Good.
Yes. No problem.
Sherry, is that similar to what they used to be called the reverse 911?
It might be right now.
Was that what Mayor Killian had put in at Aspinwall? Where if there's a problem in an area that, I don't know, you plug something in and it automatically dials the people within a certain amount of time.
Except ours will be more database centered, where we can go in and actually go online and click specific homes that we want to notify, or the whole borough. You know, if there's an emergency or something that everyone needs to know. So I think it's an exciting tool. I think it's a positive tool. And you know, a lot of our folks don't have computers. A lot of them do. But I think it's a good way to go. Like I said, we're required to do it by May 10th. So we'll be working on that. Oh, as far as agenda items, we do have a list that we received of the fire department, the new officers, as well as the relief officers and the board of directors for council approval. So that would be an agenda meeting for the an agenda item for the regular meeting. And then we also have an estimate from KTA Tater, and what they do is they assess water tanks. They did the last assessment, so in order to, they're our area-wide grant project. So in order to determine what it is that we need to do, we need to look at what damage is actually up there, what needs fixed, so we know what the scope of work is and we can tweak it to be best spent. So that will be an agenda item as well if it's council's pleasure. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Shirley. Like Public Works, I guess everybody said what I was going to say, so the water break, and they did a good job the boys did on the streets. They did an exceptional job. In fact, they were cleaned up on our streets way before the state even did Freeport Road, so they were good commitment. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Sam, just one thing on the meeting that we had today, maybe council should be aware. Sam and I met, spent about an hour and a half with the engineer today, and a gentleman whose firm is actually going to be manufacturing the decorative lights. Okay, Squires is their name. It's Squires, and
He's
also
like the broker. He's the
broker for both the luminaires and the poles and the attachment to the poles. We spent time seeing which way we wanted these particular attachments to go so that they're manufactured correctly, hopefully. Okay. And I think it was a very informative meeting, so it will not be long. The MB Squires will send us back a copy of the pole with a luminaire on it and show exactly where everything's going to be mounted on it. The borough has to sign off, the engineer has to sign off, and then poles and the luminaires will be ordered. And so they'll be installed started in the spring when the weather breaks. There's really just no rush now. That's all.
We've got the attachments so we can put the Christmas decorations and the flags all in the same spot. So, we were able to do that rather than have a whole bunch of things stuck all over the poles to attach this, that, and the other thing. So it's about as simple as we can get it.
Sam come up with that idea. It was a very good idea.
Okay. Anybody not having anything else, I'll adjourn the agenda meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. We're done.